Hello, my name is Jarrett, and thanks for watching. In January of 2023, my wife and I embarked on a 7-night Southern Caribbean cruise on the Norwegian Epic. Our ship embarked out of San Juan, Puerto Rico from the Pan American Pier 1 East Terminal. We arrived at the terminal around 10:30 a.m. The embarkation line started at the western end of the terminal. We immediately checked in our luggage with the porters before we got in line to enter. We spent around 30 minutes waiting in this line in the hot temperatures before they opened the doors to let us in. Once we entered the terminal, we got in another line to go through the security checkpoint where they scanned our carry-on bag. This took around 20 or 30 minutes. Once we exited the security checkpoint, we entered another large room. This area is where all the confusion and chaos began. Even though everyone had their own specific check-in time, no one was screened to determine if they were checking in at the correct time. It seemed like a free-for-all. After around 45 minutes of standing in the general check-in line, we thought we were finally about to board the ship. However, as we were about to exit the terminal, we were directed to another line just to exit the terminal. After another 15 minutes or so, we exited the terminal and made our way to the ship entrance. We discovered there was another line to board the ship, and after another 15 minutes or so, we were finally on board. Overall, it took over 2 hours to embark, from the time we dropped off our luggage until the moment we stepped on the ship. So tip number 1, I recommend signing up for a later check-in time, maybe in the early to mid-afternoon. As soon as we stepped on the ship, we made our way to the entertainment ticket desk on deck 6 toward the forward section of the ship near the Epic Theater. If you want to go to one of the shows in the Epic Theater, then you need to have tickets. The Broadway style show can sell out quickly. So tip number 2, plan ahead and book any Broadway style shows as soon as you get on the ship. Just past the entertainment ticket desk, moving toward the center of the ship, the Headliners Comedy Club is located on the left. Every other night there was a Howl at the Moon dueling piano show that lasted a few hours. Further toward the center of the ship, still on deck 6, is the atrium area that includes a large movie screen. In the same area is the O'Shea's Bar and Grill. They are supposedly open 24 hours. Moving to the right, there's a bowling alley with 3 lanes. This activity does cost extra. I'm assuming that's why we rarely saw anyone bowling on our cruise. Just past O'Shea's is the start of the casino. There are rules against filming in the casino, so I resisted the urge to film in most of this area. In this casino, there is another area that is open to multiple floors. One of the main dining restaurants, called Taste, is located on deck 5 below, and you can see the large chandelier hanging from the top of deck 7. Past the chandelier, still on deck 6, is the Shanghai Restaurant and Noodle Bar, which is one of the restaurants that is included in the main dining package. We ate at Shanghai's once and was not too impressed. It was your typical Chinese food. On deck 15, outside the main Garden Cafe buffet, is another buffet called the Great Outdoors Bar and Grill. Even though this outdoor buffet includes less variety compared to the Garden Cafe, it is usually less crowded and has shorter lines. I don't have any footage of the Garden Cafe because the 2 times that we ate there was absolute chaos. My advice is to skip the Garden Cafe unless you are eating there at non-peak hours. That's my tip number 3. Just past the outdoor dining area is a stage that usually included live entertainment. And to the right is the Waves Pool Bar, which is another area to avoid. That's my tip number 4. If you are in this area of deck 15 and want a soda or an alcoholic beverage, I recommend going to the Garden Cafe bar, which is usually much less crowded. If you notice, there are a lot of lounge chairs on deck 15. On a sea day, it's very difficult to find a free lounge chair in the shaded areas unless you get up early in the morning or go later in the evening. And of course, there's always the chair hogs that place their personal items or a towel on a chair when they go to eat, go to their room, or do other activities on the ship. As we make our way toward the back of the ship, there is a nice covered seating area with ping pong tables. The room to our left is the arcade, which we did not use. Just past the ping pong tables, if you round the corner to the left and make another right, you'll be at the entrance of the Spice H2O area, which is an adult-only area. There's a small pool in this area with 2 hot tubs, a large movie screen, and plenty of lounge chairs. At the top of the stairs, there's a bar area with tables and chairs. And they also have an area where they serve snacks during the day. On our cruise, I never saw anyone serving food in this area, but from my understanding, it is only open on certain days at very limited times. Around the corner, there are stairs that will take you to deck 17, which is where the sports complex is located with a large basketball court. Back on deck 15, just forward of the Spice H2O area, there's a nice breezeway that is called the Marketplace, and just forward of the Marketplace is a climbing wall, which we did not participate in either. If you notice, there are a lot of lounge chairs that are stacked in multiple locations on the ship. We saw some on deck 17, and there are some on deck 15 as well. That is one complaint that I have about this ship. There are several areas of this ship that could be ideal areas to lounge, maybe in a shaded area or a quiet area, but the lounge chairs in those areas were stacked and strapped in place so you could not have access to them. So from deck 16 you can see everything in the water park area. Below us there are 2 small pools. There are 5 hot tubs and at least a couple of showers in case you need to cool off. And of course the green, purple, and the yellow toilet bowl water slides. There are a lot of lounge chairs on this deck as well, but just not a lot of shade. If you want to be around a lot of people on a sea day, deck 15 or 16 is the place to go. It's usually loud in this area as well due to the music being played over the loudspeakers. If you want to get away from the noise and most of the people, I recommend going to deck 18 on the forward section of the ship. The only way to access this deck is by going up to the right stairwell near the Garden Cafe entrance. This was one of our favorite places to relax on a sea day, as well as in the evenings on port days. This is my tip number 5. This deck is supposed to be the quiet area. There were a few lounge chairs set up on the right side of the ship as well as the front, which you'll see in a minute. There were a lot of chairs on the right side and especially the left side that were not set out for people to use. They were just stacked and tied up during the entire cruise. There were at least 3 outdoor showers on this deck for people to cool off. Okay, so the spa is located on deck 14 toward the back of the ship. This is the reception area. To the left is a hair salon. And the fitness center is located down this hallway next to the salon. This is probably one of the largest fitness centers that I've ever seen on a cruise ship. On the left side there are plenty of cardio machines like treadmills, stationary bikes, ellipticals. There are stairmasters and rowing machines, and even more ellipticals and treadmills. On the right side of the fitness center are plenty of weight machines like pull-up bars, bench presses, leg extensions, peg deck machines. On the other side of the fitness center are some stairs that go to an area with punching bags. There's also a room to the side that is used for spin classes. There's an area with barbells, a Smith machine, some dumbbells, and kettlebells. So going down to deck 7 in the back of the ship, there's a barber shop on the right side. This is the Maltings beer and whiskey bar on the left. Just past the large chandelier area, there is the ice bar to the left, and to the right is the teppanyaki restaurant and wasabi sushi and sake bar. And further toward the center of the ship is where the tax and duty-free shops are located. We didn't spend any time in these shops, but they have your typical watches, perfume, cologne, cigarettes, t-shirts, you name it. So toward the front of the ship, still on deck 7, is the Bliss Ultra Lounge, which is a very nice lounge area with a small bar and a dance floor. This area is probably underused. I only noticed the crew using this area to host karaoke contests, late night parties, dance classes, trivia, and art auctions. It was empty most of the time and was actually a good quiet place if you wanted to relax and get away from crowds in the afternoon. Just my opinion, but I think this area could also be a good location for a live band or to host a comedy or a magician show. Just outside of the Bliss Ultra Lounge, still on deck 7, on the right side of the ship is a jogging track. It doesn't go all the way around the ship. The track goes back and forth on the right side of the ship alongside the lifeboats. From my understanding, 3.8 laps back and forth equals 1 mile. I did notice one issue about this track area. In at least a couple of locations, there were vents that exhausted air that was filled with secondhand cigarette smoke from the inside of the ship to this jogging track area. It just seemed a little counterintuitive to me. I wouldn't want to be jogging and breathing secondhand smoke at the same time. On deck 5 toward the forward section of the ship is an art gallery. And to the left is a photo gallery. And the game room. The Le Bistro French restaurant is located to the right as we walk toward the back of the ship. Okay, so as we make our way through the atrium, the guest services desk are located on our right. The Starbucks is on our left, and there are lots of seats available for people to view the large movie screen. As you'll notice, the people sitting in the back of the atrium is unable to see the top of the movie screen. The crew usually use this area to show movies, presentations on the ports, trivia, and dance classes. The atrium bar is located to the left, and the Taste restaurant is located straight ahead. We were looking down on this restaurant earlier in the video from deck 7. I was well pleased with this restaurant. We ate here a few times for dinner and a few mornings for breakfast. In our experience, the waitstaff was prompt, there was a wide range of food choices on the menu, and the food always tasted good. We did not have to make reservations for breakfast. We just walked in and was seated almost immediately. For dinners, we always had a reservation. So back on deck 6 in the back of the ship is the Manhattan dining room. This is the other main dining room that includes a dance floor and also includes live music in the evenings. The menu in this restaurant is the same as the Taste restaurant. The main difference between the two is the atmosphere. Due to the live entertainment, this dining room is much louder than the Taste dining room. Also, unlike the Taste dining room, there's a dress code here that requires a business casual attire at a minimum. For entertainment in the Epic Theater, we saw a Broadway musical called Burn the Floor, which a lot of people thoroughly enjoyed. Unfortunately, I do not have footage of the musical since the crew asked everyone to not record the show. We also saw a Beatle impersonator band that was good, and we saw a solo music performer. Every other night around 9 p.m. we saw the Howl at the Moon dueling piano show in the Headliners Club. They had a family-friendly show between 9 and 11 p.m. and an adult show between 11 p.m. and 1 a.m. On debarkation day, we didn't have any issues with exiting the ship. A couple days prior to debarkation, the crew set out luggage tags of different color near the service desk. Each tag color pertained to a certain debarkation time. My wife and I basically decided on a debarkation time, grabbed a couple of luggage tags with a color that was associated with our debarkation time, and we set our luggage outside our stateroom door the night before debarkation. We didn't have to worry about wheeling or carrying our luggage off the ship. We just walked off without any issues once our tag color was shown on the ship-wide monitors at the associated time. Tip number 6 is to avoid the elevators on debarkation day if at all possible. There were extremely long lines of people waiting to use the elevators. After we walked off the ship, we entered the terminal area, found our luggage, and got in line to go through the security checkpoint. At the security checkpoint, they scanned our face using facial recognition technology, and we proceeded to the terminal exit. In total, from the time that our luggage tag color was called until the moment we exited the terminal, it took maybe 20 minutes at most. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. If you thought it was helpful, please hit the like button. If you want to see future videos that we post to our channel, please subscribe and select the bell icon so you'll be notified every time we post a new video.